High on the green shoulder of a gentle, sloping hill, at the very edge of the wide blue world, grew a single, giant dandelion. Its leaves were not small and jagged, but broad and soft, like velvet blankets, and its stem was so tall that it seemed to be tickling the tummy of the sky. On the biggest, softest leaf of this dandelion lived a caterpillar named Celeste. Celeste was not like the other caterpillars in the fields below. They were bright green or fuzzy brown, and they hurried and scurried, munching on leaves with a quick chomp, chomp, chomp. Celeste was the color of a pale twilight sky, a soft, dreamy lavender blue. And she did not hurry. She never hurried. When she moved, it was a slow, deliberate ripple, one tiny foot after another, so slow you had to watch very closely just to see that she was moving at all. When she ate, she took a tiny, patient bite of her dandelion leaf, and then she would rest, enjoying the taste, before taking another. For many weeks, Celeste had lived her quiet, slow life on the dandelion leaf. She watched the sun make its long, slow journey across the sky each day, and she watched the moon make its silent, silvery path each night. But lately, she had begun to feel a new sensation. It started deep inside her, a feeling like a great, big, sleepy sigh. It was a deep, cozy, calling feeling. The great sleepiness had arrived. It was time. It was time to prepare for her long, transformative rest. It was time to make her cocoon. But Celeste was not going to make her cocoon from silk or leaves. Oh no. Living so high up, so close to the sky, she had a different idea. She was going to crochet her cocoon from the softest, lightest, dreamiest material she knew, the clouds themselves. She needed a tool. She crawled in her slow, thoughtful way to the base of her leaf where a single, long pine needle had been carried by the wind and left as a gift. Over many days, the morning dew had polished it smooth and clean. It was the perfect crochet hook. With great effort, she nudged and pushed the pine needle all the way back to the tip of her leaf, her special crocheting spot that overlooked the entire sky. Now, she just had to wait. As the sun began to dip below the horizon, painting the world in sleepy shades of orange and pink, the evening clouds started their slow, gentle drift. These were not big, stormy thunderclouds. They were pillow clouds, the softest and gentlest kind, full of sleepy mist. One little pillow cloud, curious about the tiny lavender caterpillar on the giant leaf, drifted closer. "Hello," the cloud whispered, its voice like the sound of steam from a kettle. "You look very thoughtful." "I am," Celeste replied, her voice as soft as her body. "It is time for my great sleepiness, and I wish to crochet my cocoon. Your edges look so soft. May I borrow a little bit of your thread?" The pillow cloud blushed a soft pink. "Of course, it would be an honor." It drifted closer until one of its fluffy, white edges brushed against the dandelion leaf. Celeste took her pine needle in her front little legs. Her work began. This was the first, most important step, making the first loop. Slowly, oh so slowly, she pushed the tip of the pine needle into the soft cloud. Then she hooked a piece of the fluffy vapor, no bigger than a speck of dust, and pulled it back. With a gentle twist, she looped the cloud stuff around the needle. She had done it. A single, perfect, airy loop. Now for the first stitch. She hooked another wisp of cloud and pulled it carefully through the first loop. Swoosh. The sound was softer than a whisper. A tiny, round stitch of cloud, no bigger than a dewdrop, now hung from her needle. It glowed with a soft, internal light. 1, Celeste counted quietly to herself. She hooked another wisp. She pulled it through. Swoosh. 2. Another stitch appeared, linked to the first. Swoosh. 3. Swoosh. 4. Her movements were slow, patient, and rhythmic. Hook the cloud, pull it through. A new stitch is born. 10 stitches made a tiny glowing ring. 100 stitches, made over a very long time, created a patch as soft and round as a cotton ball. The little pillow cloud hovered nearby, happily offering its fluff, slowly spinning as Celeste pulled thread after thread from its edge. As she worked through the quiet evening, a visitor arrived. It was a moonbeam, a long, thin, silvery strand of light that had slid down from the crescent moon to see what she was doing. "That is beautiful," the moonbeam hummed, its voice like a single low note on a harp. "But it could be stronger. Let me help." The moonbeam laid itself down next to the edge of the pillow cloud. Celeste, with a grateful little dip of her head, began to crochet with both threads at once. She hooked a wisp of white cloud and a shimmer of silver moonlight and pulled them through together. Swoosh. The sound was new, a little brighter, and the new stitches glowed even more, a beautiful mixture of soft white light and steady silver shimmer. 101, Celeste counted, her voice growing sleepier with the rhythmic work. Swoosh. 102. Swoosh. 103. Her little cocoon patch grew, stitch by steady stitch. It was no longer a patch, but a small, soft bowl, the beginning of the cocoon's shape. The work was slow, and it made her whole body feel heavy and calm. Hook the cloud and the light, pull them through. Another stitch. Her antennae drooped. A small yawn escaped her. A second set of visitors came by. They were a family of stardust, tiny, sleepy, glittering specks, drifting together in a gentle cluster. "We saw your beautiful work," they chimed, their voices like tiny, crackling embers. "We are on our way to settle for the night on the dark side of the moon, but we would love to be a part of your sleepy home." Before Celeste could even answer, they drifted down and nestled themselves into the cloud and moonbeam threads. Now, when Celeste hooked her threads, she also caught a tiny, sparkling speck of stardust. Sparky she swoosh. The sound was now the most beautiful, sleepy sound in the world. And each new stitch she made had a tiny, pulsing star inside it. Celeste was growing so sleepy. Her movements were slower than ever. Her little legs ached with a pleasant, tired feeling. The cocoon was almost finished. It was a long, soft, shimmering pouch, big enough for one very sleepy lavender caterpillar. She crocheted 200 stitches, then 300. Each stitch was a tiny, sleepy thought. Each swoosh was a soft, gentle breath. She just needed to crochet the top, a little flap that would serve as her door. She worked with all her focus, her head nodding with sleepiness. Sparky she swoosh. 398. Sparky she swoosh. 399. She hooked the cloud, the moonlight, and the stardust one last time. She pulled it through. Sparky she swoosh. 400. It was finished. Her cocoon was complete. It hung from the dandelion leaf, a perfect, shimmering, softly glowing sleeping bag. It pulsed gently with the light of the moon and the tiny stars woven into its very being. Celeste took one last, slow look at the world. The moon smiled down at her. The pillow cloud, now a little smaller, gave her a happy little jiggle. The stardust family twinkled inside her cocoon walls. She was so very, very tired. Slowly, she crawled over to the opening of her cloud cocoon and began to wiggle her way inside. It was the softest, warmest, quietest place she had ever been. The air was warm and smelled of clean rain and moonlight. It fit her perfectly, a cozy hug made of clouds. Once she was all the way inside, she reached up with her pine needle crochet hook and gently pulled the cloud flap door shut. The world outside disappeared. She was now floating in a soft, quiet, gently glowing space of her own making. Celeste, the little lavender caterpillar, curled into a tight, cozy ball inside her cocoon of clouds. The great sleepiness washed over her completely. Her work was done. Her long, peaceful rest had begun, and as she drifted off into the deepest, most wonderful sleep, she dreamed of slow, gentle rhythms and the soft, whispering swoosh of creation. And now it is time for you to feel as cozy and safe as Celeste. It's time to curl up in your own warm bed as if it were a cocoon of clouds and let the great sleepiness wash over you too. Good night.